Hey, what's up, guys? It's your boy Alex with the Inside Scoop. So today I'm excited. Guys. If you're part of 8 Minute Trader, as you know, the one-click pro trader has been kicking butt, and I'm excited because I now have the automation complete. So even when you're sleeping and you get an alert, a buy or sell alert on the 8 Minute Trader indicator EA, you can still take the trade because the Automator will take the trade for you. So this is really cool. I've been testing this for a couple weeks now, so I'm ready to release it to those that want it. For anybody on my team, you get it for free. For those that are not on my team, you do get it for a small fee. Just hit me up on Telegram. All right. So just testing it out. Even today, did 5% today. Of course, on this demo account that I've been testing it on, and with prop firm settings as well, right? So I made sure that I wasn't going, over 4% loss for the day, and I was still able to make $5,000 on this 100K account. And just to show you the accuracy of one-click pro trader, the 8 Minute Trader team has been really working hard to fine tune their alerts, and they have done a wonderful job, guys. Like, look at this blue sell alert. Boom, money in the bank, 43 pips there. And this is the alert that I caught, right? So the two alerts for the day, both sell alerts, basically determined that the market was going down for gold today, and they were right. So this is a post 8 blue alert. This is the red rev alert. So I caught this one here, and look at where price went. Look at that. So let me just go ahead and measure that real quick for you. Almost about 200 pips price went. 200 pips. And that's incredible, guys. That's incredible. So let me just zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. Boom. Look at that, man. As soon as the alert came in, sell. Look at where price dropped all the way down. Bam, bam, bam. Boom. And yeah, amazing trade. All right, so 5% gain overall. So I'll go ahead and go to the account history so I can show you the settings. Let me scroll up a little bit. So you can see that I did take a number of small losses on here, right? Minus 33, minus 24, 45, 91, 60, 167, 53, 107, 197. And all in all, I think the losses total to about 1,500. But look at my wins, though. Look at my win. 960. $2,000 and almost 4K, right? So the whole overall net profit for this was 5K profit, all right, on this particular testing account. So what I've done though is that there's a lady who is absolutely crushing it in the 8 Minute Trader space, Joanne. Goes by the name Joanne, and she is doing really well with one-click pro trader. I mean, she did like 54% even in a week, just catching off multiple entries off a NAS trade. So she is doing really well. So what I did is the default settings of the one-click trader Automator, all right, actually incorporates the settings that she uses to trade with. Basically, she takes every single alert and she just lets them run. Sometimes she will hold trades for like days, like maybe a day or two, maybe even longer. So basically that's the default settings, right? So what it does is it has the main entry and a mitigation entry at the pullback. All right, the pullback. So it's an entry 3 pullback. For those that are an 8 Minute Trader, you know what I'm talking about. For those that are not, just know that this Automator will take some pretty awesome setups, right? So you can literally be getting 1 to 10 risk to reward, 1 to 20 risk to reward, 1 to 30 risk to reward. Whatever the case is with your own trading style, right? So I give you the tools and you can tweak it however you like. You can test it however you like. We also have a small, really tight-knit community within the Automator. We have a small Telegram group that, we're all part of, and we're all sharing the settings that is working for us. And, so if you want to be part of that, just hit me up on Telegram. And I will show you how you can get access, all right, to the Automator. All right, so that's that. So let me show you the purpose of this video. I'm gonna show you how to go ahead and install and set up the new EA. All right, so let me just go ahead and do that over here. So let me switch to this account. Oh, it looks like I've got an alert here on this, but again, I don't have to take it manually because you know the Automator will take it for me. But this is outside of my trading hours. That I've set the bot to trade, so it's not going to take that alert. But let me just go ahead and show you how to set this up. Now, unlike the first version that we had, this version will be a little bit different in the sense that for every pair you want to trade, you will also need to create, basically open up another chart. All right, so let me just go ahead and close this real quick so I can show you what I mean. All right, so I'll just start with 3 charts here. All right, so we have AUD JPY, Euro AUD, Euro JPY. So I have to open 3 separate other charts with these same pairs. All right, so AUD JPY, let me go ahead and open that. Where are you, AUD JPY? Where are you? There we go. All right, so chart window, boom, Euro AUD, where are you? There we go. And Euro JPY, there we go. All right, so I'll go ahead and click the tile to tile it up, set it to 1 minute, 1 minute, and 1 minute. Perfect, so I can close this window here and tile it up, and I will click my navigator folder here. All right, so here we are. So we're sitting here, we have a duplicate charts open, right? So for every pair, you will need 2 charts because 8 minutes, 1 click pro trader is itself an EA, right? And you cannot have 2 EAs on the same chart. So that's why we need the second chart window open. All right. So we have these charts open. Where do we go from here? Now I'm going to send you the folder with the bot in it, along with some additional files. All right, so let's say that you have received the folder from me. Here's what you do. All right, you go to navigate to that folder, right? Wherever you have it on your computer, you're going to first need to extract it, right? So extract the folder, okay? And then go into the folder. You're gonna first take the EA. It's gonna be called One Click Trader, so 1CT Automator. And the current version is 3.4.2 at the time of making this video. All right, so let me just go ahead and copy this. So I'm going to right click, copy, and I'm going to go into my MT4 terminal. I'm gonna click on File, and I'm gonna go ahead and click Open Data Folder. Okay, and I am going to go into MQL4 experts, and I'm gonna paste. So I paste it in here and I close this. That's all I need to do there. Okay, I go back into the folder, I take get chart ID, I copy that. All right, so right click, copy, and then I'm going to go to MT4, click File, click Open Data Folder, go into MQL4, go into indicators this time, and I'm going to go ahead and paste. All right, now I've already got it in here, so yeah, it should already be in here. Get chart ID, so I have it in here. So I paste that in there, I close this. Now I click on this here, the navigator. I'm going to right click on any of these items and click refresh. Okay, so that refreshes it. Okay, and then what I'm going to do from here is I'm going to, so assuming that you already have RPA default here, the RPA default template, assuming that all the 3 charts have RPA default template, which basically shows the alerts, right? I'm going to now on AUD JPY, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the get chart ID because I need to get the chart ID. So I'm going to highlight AUD JPY, or I can just drag and drop. So 2 ways I can do this. I can literally click on it here, drag it and drop it on the chart, or I can make sure this chart is, I can make sure this chart is highlighted, right? This is the active chart. And then I just double click get chart ID and I click OK. All right. And it tells me that, hey, this is the chart ID. I click OK again. And now for AUDJPY, I go to the second chart that I have open for AUDJPY. And I am going to navigate, scroll down to find the EA. And it's called one click Automator 3.42. And I am going to double click it to add it to this AUDJPY chart. And I go to inputs. So under inputs, I am going to look for get chart ID. So scroll down till you see it. So get chart ID right here. And I'm going to go ahead and paste it in. All right. So now I'm also going to explain to you what each of these settings does, right? Just in case you haven't had a chance to watch my other video, I'll quickly go through the settings. All right. So generate random signal is just for testing purposes. Leave this false. You don't need to touch that. Use dashboard to confirm signal. So this is still a really powerful strategy, guys, where if you have my dashboard, all right, or if you want to get it, this is a trend dashboard. It basically shows you a high probability of where a pair is heading for that day, the direction of where a pair is heading. So for example, AUDJPY, it's saying that for the next day or so or two, or maybe more, it's in a PFL status, which means that look for only buys. So in this column here where it says PF, if it's green, look for buys. If it's red, look for sells. However, if the status is yellow, then ignore that trade. Don't trade that pair in that direction. Okay, so green, looking for only buys. Red, looking to only sell the market. Okay, so I have a video that covers that more in detail in terms of if you want to use this dashboard strategy, but it's a very powerful strategy, guys. But so if you were to use that dashboard strategy, instead of this being both to take buys and sells, you would actually change it to maybe take only buys or take only sells based on the dashboard. Okay, if you're using that strategy. All right, so this is the default settings, you know, pretty much how Joanne trades. So let me just quickly talk through the rest of the settings here. All right, so the use dashboard is false. We don't need to use that for this settings here. All right, you don't need to touch this. All of this has to do with the dashboard. All of this has to do with the dashboard, so you don't need to touch it. I get to max active orders at a time. I have a default set to 100, but again, you can change it to whatever you want to. But this is the maximum amount of entries that the Automator will take, right? So when it sees a buy sell alert, it takes it. When it sees another one, it takes it, all the way to maximum 100 orders at one time that you can have open. All right. So if it sees 101, it's not going to take the trade. Max active order at a time for all symbols. This is basically, let's say you're in a Euro JPY trade and you don't want to take a trade in AUD JPY, you know, just because the JPY is the same common denominator, basically in the same pair. Then you can set this to, let's say, for example, 1, and it'll only take one trade in either pair. It won't take both trades in either pair. So if there's a trade open in Euro JPY, it's not going to take a trade in AUD JPY. All right. I have it set to 0 as default. All right. So again, these settings, you're free to tweak anything you want, but these are the default recommended settings. Okay. All right. Magic number, change it when you get the EA. Just change it to something random. All right, just so you have a different magic number. So basically, this is especially important for prop firms because, you know, they don't want the same people, you know, using the same magic number for EAs and stuff, right? So just change it, make it unique to yourself. All right, so you could do maybe like your year of birth and birthday, whatever you want in that combination. All right, it can be any amount of numbers, right? So it can be 4 numbers, it can be 5, whatever you want. All right, so work on both means take both buys and sells. but you can again, you can specify it like I mentioned before. Use after X candles pending, then delete. This one basically, if you have a pending order, it's basically saying that after 130 candles, this pending order will delete, right? So that you don't have an order that's open for days on end, a pending order, right? So that's what that does. This one, it's really, you can just leave it false. You really don't have to touch this one. But basically what it is if the stop loss was going to be like 30 pips away or more, then don't, enter into that trade. But I don't really use this, so just leave it to false. It's just a way to prevent like a big stop loss when an alert comes out. So I leave it to false. This one, don't touch it. And then this is the pullback entry 3. And this is the mitigation. All right, so basically that's the way that I have it set up. But of course, these are fib numbers, right? So you can always change it if you want to. Like, for example, price tends to pull back often to like the fib of 661.8 or 618 Fibonacci, right? So you could definitely customize this, but I just have it set to the 75, which tends to be entry 3 for one click pro trader. Okay, and I have it set to the same 75 so I can take 2 orders. That's the way that Joanne trades. She takes 2, 1 entry and 1 mitigation, right? So just a simple strategy. You can maybe take profit off one of your orders early and then just let the other one run for days on end, right? And see what it gets you. And that's how you get those big winners. Take profit by reverse signal. This is basically like if you entered a buy trade and there was a yellow sell alert, this would exit the trade for you. But again, you can use that if you want. I leave it to false, but you can play around with that if you want. The max loss daily, basically, this is especially important if you're doing prop firm challenges. So 4 is 4%, basically saying that if I've lost 4% on the account, don't take any more trades. Okay. Chart ID, that's what we did. Basically, the first thing we did is make sure that this chart ID for the second chart matches up to the chart ID of that first chart. Okay, otherwise it's not gonna take the orders. Okay, X pips limit order. That's the new feature I've added in this EA version. Basically, what it does is it works with the fixed stop loss. Or the stop loss by bar. Either way is fine. But what it does is if I change this to 5, when price goes down, instead of hitting my stop loss, there are 2 pending orders that are inserted in, and it triggers those pending orders 5 pips distance apart. So let's say that your main entry is, let's say, right here, and price comes down, there's another pending order 5 pips below, and then there's another pending order 5 pips below. This is basically, for those alerts that tend to, normally hit your stop loss before it runs. That's what that does. All right, so it's a pretty cool thing. You can test it out and see if you like it. But that's actually what I used, sometimes. All right, so I'll definitely provide the set file. I'll provide the set file for you in case you want to test it out. But yeah, it's a pretty cool thing. And you can set it to whatever you want. If you want maybe like the second backup order to trigger after like 20 pips, and the third one to trigger after another 20 pips, you can set that to that. And if you made this, let's say you made this 660, which is 600 points, all right, then basically you'd have a second order trigger at 20 pips. You'd have a third order trigger at another 20 pips, which would be like 40 pips down. And then your overall stop loss for all the orders would be like 60 pips down if you would, change this to like stop loss by fixed and change this to 600. Okay, but yeah, that's that's how you use that over there. So let me change that back. To bar. Okay. All right, scrolling, moving along here. Okay, so that, where are we? So I'll set that to 0 because I don't want to use that for the default settings. All right, so that's 0. That means it's disabled. All right, and then these are the colors of alerts I want to take. So let's say I don't want to take green alerts, green buy alerts. I'll just change this to false. But again, this is default. So those are the colors of alerts I want to take. And I just want the pullbacks. I don't want the main entry. The main entry is when the alert shows up. I want it to actually pull back a little bit, so my stop loss is tighter. Okay. So that's entry 1, that's entry 2, and this coincides with the entry 1 and entry 2 fibs. Okay. So if I wanted maybe entry 1 to be like 50% of the way down for the pullback, I could change this to 50 and it'll be 50% of the way down. But I'll keep it at 75 so that both orders triggers at the same time. All right, so where are we? So same colors for sell. You have your reds, your yellow, your blue post dates alerts. So that's what those are. All right. I know there's a lot of settings. Don't let it overwhelm you, guys. You don't really have to touch anything here. You don't. I'm just showing you what's possible, and I'm showing you options just in case you're like a tester like me and you like to maybe test your own settings and see what works for you. Then you can play around with these. So that's why I'm explaining what each of these are. These are times that do not trade, right? So that's, I have it set right now to between 3 p.m. Eastern and 7 p.m. Eastern time. Don't take trades between there. So after 7 p.m. it can take trades, and before 3 p.m. all right, it can take trades. So I basically avoid that Asian gap where nothing is really happening in the market. Again, you can change the time. Make sure you check your broker just to make sure the times line up on your broker. Okay. All right. Yeah. So stop loss now. Let's talk stop loss. So stop loss can be by bar. 10 just means that I put the stop loss above the high of the last 10 bars for like a sell. So if you were to count 10 bars back, 10 candle bars, it puts a stop loss 1.5 pips above. That's what I have it set to. Okay. I can make it the last 5 bars. I could control this. I can make it tighter by making this just 1 pip, which is like that, right? That's 1 pip, because 10 points equals 1 pip. All right. So that's the calculation for that, but I'll leave it default to 15. Fixed stop loss. All right. So fixed stop loss is if I just wanted a fixed stop loss, I could change this to fixed, and this is 20 pips. But I like to use by bar, so I'll change it to bar. Okay. All right. So this is the risk. Now controlling your risk. So there are different parameters. And for this one, don't use mixed. It's just a testing purpose then. So just use either by bar or fixed, but I keep it by bar. Lots there in terms of the risk. So you can risk it by money, you can risk it by percentage, you can risk it by a fixed lot size. So let me show money first. Money first, this is $10. So this is the money line, the money line. So $10. If I'm risking 1,000, I'll change this to 1,000 per alert, guys. This is per entry. All right. If I'm risking 100, I'll change this to 100. But yeah, I like to keep it to percentage. Fixed lot is if you know like what lot you want to trade, you can change it to a fixed lot size. But I like percentage. I'm risking right now. I'm risking 0.1%. So not even 1%. 0.10. Okay, 0.1%. Again, you can play around with that. If you want to do 0.5%, you just have to change this to 5, and that'd be 0.5%. All right, let me try to rush. I don't want to make this video too long. All right, I'll take profit, risk to reward. You have other options here by fixed amount, which is like if you did fixed amount, you'd have to change it here. So this is 100 pips, right? So if you want to change that to 200 pips, you change this to 2,000. All right. But I like to do risk to reward. Basically, this is risking, like, for example, 1% to make 100%. All right. Okay. Same here. This is for the main order entry, the main, and this is for entry 1. This is for entry 2. So the same settings there. Move TP. Don't worry about it. I don't really use it, so skip it. This is trail. All right. So this is a trailing. If you wanted to use it, you'd put true. And then just this means that when this is 6 risk to reward, move your stop loss to 3 risk to reward. So 6 RR, move to 3 RR. Typically for this method or this strategy here, I set everything to false here. I don't use it. This is break even, works the same way. So this is when if I set this to true, that means when price is 3 RR, move the stop loss to 1 RR. Okay. Pretty much moves it about the entry price. But again, for this, we're just trying to catch runners. So with Joanne, basically, like, you know, sometimes she basically, like, out of 20 trades, she may only win 2 trades. All right. Just because all of these are false, right? There's no really trade protection. She'll manually move her stop loss to break even at where she's comfortable, right? So she's just trying to catch runners. So if out of 30 trades you get 2 trades that go 60R, you've made profit, right? So don't worry too much about like the win percent or win rate. More so just think about catching big runners. All right, so this is what this strategy is right here. But again, you can tweak it to whatever you want. So that's the break even there. This is partial close, kind of works the same way as well. Basically says when this is 10 RR in profit, close 50% of my trade for the order main. So for these settings, you see the main, you see the entry 1, you see the entry 2. So just be mindful of which parameter you're controlling. Martingale, don't touch unless you're a daredevil. Leave that alone. I'm not even going to talk about that. Leave it alone. All right. Use MA filter. I don't use it. These are some things that like I wanted to test with, but yeah, I don't use it. But it's just basically a way to control your trades by the moving average. I'll leave that false. Buy below this line. This is a way to also control your entry. So for example, you're looking at the chart and you're like, okay, I only want to take alerts that go below this price. You can set that here and control it that way. Okay. Asia box filter, you can ignore it, but it's just again an additional filter if you wanted to use, but again, you don't need to use it. You can just ignore it. So leave these 2 to false. Okay. All right, so with that said, let me just go ahead and click on OK. All right, perfect. So I've clicked on OK, and I've now set this for AUD/JPY. Now, don't think that you have to go through that every time, right? Because once I have this set, all I have to do is click here, and I'll click Save Template, and I will, save it. So, for example, I can save this to my 8-minute trader automation. All right. So I click save, and all I need to do here on Euro AUD, I'll just click on templates again, and I will load the template I just saved. So my 8-minute trader automation, boom, and it's there. All I need to do though is update the chart ID. Don't forget that. Okay. So I go back to the first Euro AUD chart. I go to get chart ID. I double click it. I make sure I grab the chart ID. I can close this box, go to Euro AUD, right click, go to expert advisors, and go to properties, change the chart ID. That's the only thing I need to change here, and click OK. Perfect. I've got that now. All right. Same thing for EUR/JPY. All right. That's the same thing that you would do for that. So I guess let me do it just to show you again. All right. So I go to templates, my 8-minute trader automation. That plugs in what I set here, right, for AUD/JPY. I go to EUR/JPY chart. I click on it. Then I double click the get chart ID. Okay. Got my chart ID. Go back to the EUR/JPY, the second duplicate pair. I right click on it, go to expert advisors, properties, and I paste in the chart ID for EUR/JPY, and I click on OK. Perfect. Now, let me show you one more chart here, because indices are a little bit different, right? So I'll go to US30. I will open that chart window, and I'll open it a second time because I need to, and then I need to change the time frame. So let me go ahead and change this to 1 minute. change this to 1 minute, and then change this to the RPA default because I need one to have the alerts and I need the other one to run the bot. So this one is running the bot. I basically do the same thing. I click on my 8-minute trader automation, but this time I need to do something here. All right. So I need to now get the chart ID again. So I'll get the chart ID. I will drag and drop it here. Click OK. I've got my chart ID. Now I go here, right click, expert advisors, properties, and I plug in my chart ID. Very important now. Very important, guys. Scroll down to the stop loss, and you need to change the stop loss, right? So typically for indices, I will use a 400 points stop loss. All right, so 400 points, I will change that, and I'll do it just here as well. All right, so 400 points, right? So very important that you do that, guys. Don't keep it on the same one that the Forex pairs use. Change it. All right, so once I do that, I click on OK, and boom, I have that set as well. So that's basically, in a nutshell, that is how you can, set up the charts, right? Now, 8-minute trader recommends, like, I think about 15 pairs to trade. So you can run this on 15, but keep in mind that becomes very memory demanding. So if you don't have a lot of RAM on your VPS or your computer, you're going to notice MT4 becomes a little bit slow if you're running that many charts. So I would say keep it to about 10 or less charts. All right, knock off some pairs that don't move as much. So for example, AUD USD, right? AUD USD, I'm not going to trade, right? I'm not trading AUD USD, right? I'm not trading AUD USD because it doesn't move as much. I'm not trading the dollar because the spread is crazy on the dollar. I'm not trading this, right? So you can cut it down, all right? So that, you're not taking up so much memory on your machine. But if you notice it's slowing down, just reduce the number of charts, right? So if I want to, for example, if I wanted to cut out US 30, I could basically just click here to close both, and I'll close both pairs. If I wanted to cut out AUD JPY, I'd close this pair, then I'd close this, all right? So I'd close both like that, all right? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's how you set that up. Now, I've also included the set file for the indices in that folder, right? Let me close that you got. So you've got the indices set file. So that's the last thing I'll talk about actually. So the indices set file is here, so you can copy it, and I'll show you how to use it. So if I go to US 30 and I right click, I go to experts advisors, I could click load. And I think I've already got it in here, but yeah, let me just go ahead and put that in there. So I could click load, and I'd open it up, and this would have the indices. This will have the indices set file. But remember that you still need to change the chart ID, right? You need to update the chart ID. And I should have actually grabbed the chart ID first before I did this. But yeah. Okay, so let me click OK. Okay, so now let me go to Navigator, and I'm going to grab the chart ID because the settings overwritten whatever was there. So let me right click. Let me just make sure I have the right chart ID in there. Okay, I do. Perfect. So I click on OK, and there we go. So that's the chart. That's the set file for that. All right. So now I also have the XPIPs set file that I'm sharing with you. So I'll close that, and if I go to any one of them, I can load this. So if I go to Euro AD properties, I can go to load, and then I can drop this in. Now I'm going to so it said, do I want to replace? Sure, I'll replace. That's fine. Yeah, I'll replace that because I already have it in there. That's why it's asking me that. So now I'm not going to load it just yet because I want to copy the chart ID so I don't have to go the long way and have to drop that chart ID then again. So let me copy the chart ID before I load the template. So I'm gonna now click load, and the X pips. Now I can load it. So if I click open, now I can then paste in the chart ID just so I don't lose sight of that chart ID. Now you can check the settings here because I have it set to, what do I have it set to? So 5 pips away. Yeah, so 5 pips away, and then my overall fixed stop loss is 15 pips. So with X pips, I typically won't use by bar. I will use by fixed, and then I will make it like, this is like overall 15 pips away, the stop loss. If I wanted to make it like farther, I can make like 200. But this is what I have as default right now, 15 pips. Okay, so that's how you can play around with the X pips. If you want, you could like load one chart or one MT4 terminal with again, like Joanne's recommended settings, and then the second terminal, if you have a separate like broker or something, if you can load it with the X pips. Or you can mix different charts. Some have X pips and some have the default settings. So yeah, that's that's what you can do. All right, so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show you how to do that, but that's how you load set files as well. So if I'm always testing, so if I find something that really works even better, I will give you the set file, and all you have to do is again go to load, paste it in, and then just then just after you paste it, you can click on it and click open, and it will open up the settings that I have given you. Okay, all right, so that's it. Sorry this video is a bit longer than intended, but I wanted to cover all the bases and cover all the strategies and everything like that. So you can check out the other videos. I do have a video just for like the trend dashboard in case you're interested to use that strategy. I do have a video for that as well. Okay, but yeah, remember, if your memory on your machine gets laggy, close some charts. Okay, all right, if you have any questions, reach out to me on Telegram. God bless, take care.